critical steps that must be followed before signing a buy-sell agreement. And I think, let's say if I've got this right, the first critical step is look at your old agreement and do the fire drill. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And see what it does, see what you like and what you don't like. And then, from there, I would guess, and then you can fill in the blanks between the two of you, that when you have the new agreement in front of you, before you sign it, you do the fire drill again with the new agreement and make sure that it did all those things that we said we were going to do.
No, you bet. You bet. And if you get an agreement, a draft of an agreement back that doesn't comport with what you told them you wanted, then you're going to have a problem with the agreement, and you probably got a problem with the lawyer.
Yeah. Which goes back to that first, one of the things they were talking about before is how do you know the attorney that they've got their chops and that they've got it, they can do this stuff. And I think, is it fair to ask an attorney for a sample buy-sell agreement that they've written before, take the personal stuff out of it?
I've had people do that before, and I never was offended by that. But I think you do a lot better by simply asking them, because for me, and Don, I don't know how you feel about this, but buy-sell agreements were the toughest contract to draft in my legal career because of the number of variables. I mean, you're shooting at a moving target, and you've got multiple balls in the air at the same time.
Yeah.
So for me, you just have to care enough to ask questions. Like how often do you deal with buy-sell agreements in particular? How often have you taken them from triggering event to closing? You get, and you start getting a feel for that. Now, if the lawyer's going to misrepresent, their experience, well, there's very little you can do about that other than to suffer the brunt or simply go get somebody else.
Fair.
And one of the other things is, there are people out there that don't want to pay anybody for anything. And they hear you, Michael, and you're talking about buy-sell agreements and the 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 Ds that you think need to go in there. And the guy's thinking, well, we got death and disability, wonder what else. And so he goes to the lawyer, maybe has it redrafted, and it's goodwill. And he thinks, well, I got 10 Ds, I used to have 2, so I'm set. I would recommend that they go to the CPA and say, please read this and let me know how much I'm going to get if my partner's taken out. And he comes back with this figure, and it's based on book value. Well, wait a minute, the business is worth X times more than that. Well, yeah, but it says book value. So that's going to give you some indication. Maybe you should pay somebody to do this, not just your golfing buddy who happens to specialize in real estate or malpractice or whatever, and he's doing it for you as a favor. And he's telling you, look, hey, you need to go to a buy-sell specialist. No, you're a lawyer. You know what you're doing, right, Paul? Paul, you're a lawyer. You know all about divorce. You know about environmental protection. You know about professional liability in the medical field, in the architectural field, the engineering field. You're a lawyer, right? You just know this.
And my answer is, you can fit what I know about any of those subjects other than buy-sell agreements in a thimble.
Yeah. So, but I think if you take it to the CPA and get a number from him, that may open your eyes. And so much of this goes back to what we've talked about over the years, and that's collaboration.
Right.
Let's get folks around the table. The CPA needs to be a part of, the lawyer, the financial advisor, the insurance guy, the P&C guy, what have you, and hash this out and give you the best document to protect probably the largest asset that you have.
Right. I have one client that says the most expensive meeting I have is when I bring all of my advisors together for a couple of hours, but that expensive meeting saves me hundreds of thousands of dollars over the long run. So it's, you know, they're like, they hate that meeting, but they know that every time good stuff comes out of it because of the collaboration. Because if you're just looking at something from a life insurance perspective or from a legal perspective or an accounting perspective, something's missed, and you need all of those heads at your table, you know, at least once a year, looking at your situation and saying, what am I missing? What am I not looking at? You guys talk about it, you know, kibitz among yourselves and figure this thing out for me, right?
Well, it's kind of like the old Fram auto filter commercial. You can pay me now or pay me later, you know, like the auto repair guy used to say on the commercial. My goal in a buy-sell agreement is to minimize the need for litigators.
Yeah.
Because when litigators get on the case, the number of hours that they spend is incredible.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's
Yep.
that's the nature of litigation today. It is just very labor intensive, and that means expensive.
Yeah.
So you have to, you're really the and it goes back to collaboration too. There's no substitute for it. There's just no substitute for it because none of us has all the answers. And I know damn well I don't.